What's up, and welcome back to Cleats to Whistle podcast. We are here at North Oldham, and they are getting ready for a big week one showdown with Fern Creek. Very exciting time, man. We are here with Coach, and we're just gonna get your name and the role that you play.
Okay. My name's Dave Marsh, and I'm the wide receivers coach for the varsity.
Okay, and you say off camera you're the calling JV.
Yeah, JVOC and the head coach. So.
Okay, there we go. How are you feeling? You know what I mean? The scrimmages are over. Week one is here. How do you feel?
Feel really good. Our guys have really pushed it since Coach Roberts stepped foot on campus in March, and they've gotten a lot better as weeks have gone on. We had a really good spring. Then they came back from dead period, and they've just hit the ground running. We got a lot of 7-on-7 experience this summer, and we kind of got immersed in his offense. And then we've kept going. We had a pretty good showing at Atherton. We found some stuff we can work on. We went up to North Bullitt last week, and we started finding that rhythm, and so we're hoping we can put it on display this Saturday.
There you go. I felt stupid with the debacle at JCPS. Everything was canceled or moved to Saturday or Sunday. Mm-hmm. I was not even thinking you guys were playing, and I seen it at like 5 o'clock. I was like, oh, my God, man, I could have been over there watching you guys. But so I asked this to every coach, man. Do you have any mentors that you'd want to shout out right now?
Probably the two biggest mentors for me right now. The first one, he's retired now, is Bill Cronin. That guy, he was a college coach for the Georgetown Tigers forever. But I remember going to him as a sixth grader in middle school and going to his football camps through about 6-7 years, and every year just getting to know him, and then eventually playing for him for that year, and then working for him eventually. It was a great experience. He taught me a lot about how a program should be run, caring about the kids who come on your campus, and just every ins and outs of a program. The other one, he really kind of shaped how I am as a coach, is William Blair. He was my freshman year head coach at Trimble, and then he's now the Madison Central head coach. Great man. He taught me that the game of football is won in the film room, how you're supposed to watch it, what you have to look for. And freshman year, he kind of changed my whole career on just how I approach the game itself. So
there you go. So shout out to his coaches, man, and that's a great thing, man. You can look back at that and be like, man, these guys molded me in a certain way. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Okay, and so did you grow up in Kentucky?
Yeah, I actually grew up about 45 minutes down the road in Trimble County, Kentucky. That's where I've always gone to school. Went there kindergarten through senior year. Yeah, that's where I ended up. And then my family kind of moved before I kind of grew up and got to go to school. So they settled in there. And then from there, left and graduated, went to Georgetown. And then I came back to the area to start coaching and teaching. So.
Okay. Did you like get a scholarship, or did you go play ball at somewhere in college?
So I got my freshman year. I ended up getting a scholarship with Georgetown. I got to play my freshman year, and then after that, I got a couple injuries that kind of pounded up, and then I just ended it right there. And then they kind of offered me an undergrad assistant. I kind of worked for the defensive staff, just kind of helped them set things up and things like that. Organized a few drills and stuff for them, and then that's kind of what got my foot in the door. I'm like, this is where I want to do. And I actually learned a lot from Coach Shan, housekeeper there. He taught me the ins and outs of the program. Then you have to care about the little things, and it's the little things that make the big things better.
Yep.
And then Cody Williams, he taught me a lot about the recruiting world, what they look for, everything they want in it, and just all the different processes you have to go through there. And also Bruce Owens was the one who kind of got me into it. He just walked up to me after I kind of said, I'm hurt, I'm beat up, and he's just like, hey, why don't you try this for a little bit, see if you like this. And once I did it, I never looked back.
Wow, so you got bit by the bug early,
yes.
Man. Yeah, and it sucks that, it had to take, a couple injuries to just keep piling on you, mm-hmm. to really make you open your eyes and be like, man, I gotta figure something else out.
Yeah. It was, part of it was, I'll be honest, I didn't take care of myself in that process, because I was just like, I've got to keep practicing. Like, I can't sit out. Like, I want to push myself and keep going. And it was just, it kept hurting, and then it just finally, it just kind of caught up to me. But, life happens for a reason. I got to work for the people that I kind of recognized as like big mentors and people like I grew up watching Georgetown football, and so kind of working for them was kind of a cool experience, and then kind of taking the life lessons they taught me was kind of surreal, and then applying it every day, it's just huge.
Man, that's a great little story right there, man. That you know, what I mean, that was one of my questions. Is like, you know, what I mean, what made you get into coaching, man? So you basically, man, what when you're a little kid, man, did you play like little league football?
Yeah, I got to play in the Trimble County Youth League. The league has changed completely from when I played in it. Coach Roberts can probably tell you the same thing. We actually played in the same youth league, but it used to be before I left. It was just Trimble County versus the Henry County 4 youth league teams, and we'd go up toe to toe with about 3 of them. Then there was Eminence sitting over there, and we'd have fun. Like we grew and developed, and then we never saw our district opponents till we got to middle school. So like it was like that clean slate
Gotcha.
walking in there. You just didn't know what you were gonna expect, and then it kind of like it built it up as the years went on. So. Unfortunately, like once we left youth league, we never saw those kids again, except for Eminence. So
Wow. Okay. And did you have a number? And did it have a meaning to you?
So I didn't get officially my number until I got to high school. My number was 75. My coach Ronnie Logan had this cool tradition at Trimble. He would find the player that you most are similar to that had already graduated, and he always tried to match you up with who it was. And so I ended up getting number 75 because I resembled the former guy that had it. He thought it was, kind of the one that just kind of fit the most with me. But he did that for everybody across the board. Like he would find the guy you most reconcile with, and just kind of like it kept the program going. Since he's kind of left the program, I think that piece was kind of like missing still there. But I mean, he was a great coach. Learning from him and just kind of building and keeping those traditions alive was, another makeup to like into the coaching.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's good stuff, man. And you've been in the game a while, man. As a player, you know what I mean, you're at college. How do you deal with the stress of you know what I mean? You had an injury, so you dealt with your stress differently with that. In coaching, you deal, you know what I mean? You put stress on yourself to make sure you're getting you should be where you're at at each step of the season. How do you deal with that?
Part of it is just sometimes you got to take a step back a little bit and kind of put everything in perspective on like dealing with this game plan for the week. We have to prepare this certain way. Next week I got to prepare for this in a different way because we're going against something different. But a lot of it is just kind of taking it all and then just prioritizing it into different sections and saying this is what we're going to focus on. These are most important, what we're going to focus on now, and then not stress about this as much just because you can't cover everything in about 72 hours in your practice week because Thursday is that day where you're just kind of putting the finishing touches on it. So,
yeah.
But, yeah, no, the stress part is just kind of easy going, take a step back and have fun with it. And, it's a great game to play for kids, and I hope it stays around for a long, long time. So.
Yeah, man. Do you have a memory of playing the game of football?
That's a tough one. I would definitely say my senior year. It's probably one of the more painful memories of playing football. That's kind of should be a happy memory, but the one that's kind of always stuck with me was my senior year homecoming. We played our rival Carroll County, and we had to have a goal line stand. Half-inch yard line. It's 11 on 11. We're going to find out who's going to win the ball game. And I remember it so vividly because I told the coach, put me at the nose, like they're not crossing that goal line. Everybody was energized. The crowd was being very loud. It was probably one of the few times we sold out that place. And snap hit, and I just remember it like that. And just we hit. Next thing I know, the refs huddle up, and then they decide that he scored. And my memory, his knee was down, but
no,
it's okay,
man. That's just heartbreaking, man. When you have that moment and you're like, I tried to do all I could, man.
Yeah, it was okay. I will say, like, I sat there on the goal line. I was like, there's no way he crossed, but in the end, though, I've kind of like set myself. What I tell players is like every game is a game of inches, and to lose it like that, I can tell them that the game will come down to a couple inches. And if you will push a little bit harder and go a little bit more, then we can win this ball game because every inch will matter. So.
Yes. And you guys, you know what I mean? You guys are a staff that's kind of been together for a while, or you got new pieces?
So,
You know what I mean, they got Coach Roberts is the new head coach. Was there pieces here, and he just just welcomed?
so last year there was me, Coach Vance, and Coach Key were the three retained from the previous staff.
Okay.
Coach Vance was our O-line coach last year. Coach Key was with our linebackers again. So we kind of kept the pieces together. I switched sides of the ball. I was on defense last year. I switched to offense this year. And so like when Coach Roberts decided to bring the staff together, he brought pieces of a lot of experience. He brought in coaches with 10-plus experience, and Coach McGraw and Coach Pye. He also brought in two defensive coaches, and Coach Smith and Coach Franklin, to kind of anchor in our defense this year. So kind of building us together, we've kind of molded as a staff, and we think we've put the pieces together to have a great football season.
Yeah, that's great, man. And you know what I mean? It's communication. And that's a huge thing. You know what I mean? If you can have, a ruckus coach's office, you know what I mean? You guys just, playing jokes on each other. You guys just being boys together, man.
Yes.
And that's what it's all about. But the huge thing is communication.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
and you feel like you guys have that. You guys can talk to each other.
Yes, communication-wise, we have all different types of group chats of just where we're all communicating just on game plan, or we'll joke around about which is the best restaurant. We have this huge debate going on between the staff, and we've gotten the kids involved a little bit. Who has better wings between Buffalo Wild Wings and Roosters, and it's kind of going back and forth a little bit. When we did our team lock-in, we even brought in wings, and we made everybody kind of taste test it just to settle this debate. So there was no clear verdict who won that, but Buffalo Wild Wings did kind of win in my opinion. But still more coaches to decide.
So what do? You bone in or boneless?
I'm a bone in.
Okay, yeah, okay. You know, OG then, yeah, that's what's up. A lot of these new kids, some of your players like that boneless, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on the restaurant. I will tell you the wings, if not comparing the two main ones, if I'm going to take one of those as Mama's Barbecue, get their smoked wings, it's pretty amazing.
Delicious.
Oh, my goodness.
Delicious. I had those. But I'm just going to tell you, my pick would be Roosters.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, that mine would be Roosters.
It's okay.
Okay, and give me an update on your receivers.
We are very deep as far as experience. Our guys are big thing is we're getting healthy as far as the receiving core, getting guys back, getting a lot of reps. We have a lot of length, and we're getting our speed and kind of getting our legs under us. We're also finding some new pieces to the puzzle a little bit. We're having guys that in the past kind of slowly progressed through our JV program. Now they're kind of getting the opportunity in varsity. And, on Saturday, we're going to kind of put them to the fire and see what they can do. We got one of them in last week. He had a huge catch in the fourth quarter to set up the final drive for the score. So to kind of see him, all he did last year in JV, and then to see him make that catch last week, a huge opportunity. And then we got some young guys that are kind of pushing some of our older guys, and they want their spots. So the receiver room is very deep, very competitive. They're also a bunch of jokesters too, so they like to play pranks on each other. But more importantly, kids like Luke Tompkins, I can't wait to see what this kid can do inside this offense. Gray Schmidl, huge volume catcher. He's been awesome to work with, especially last year. Anytime we threw him the ball, he just automatically would catch it. Mac Pyle, great senior leader for us out there, and he's really trying to push the kids, taking it more seriously, and just kind of getting everybody involved there. And then getting Charlie Bradley and Joe Fidel, our big tight ends, kind of get them involved in the offense the year. And then bringing in our speedster, Dawson Nagel. So just to have a little fun with the edges and kind of mess with some teams.
Yeah, there we go. And that was my next question is like who are your top leaders of that group?
Definitely Mac Powell would be one of them, our big senior. Gray Schmidl is very football smart. It's a kid that takes every rep very seriously, and he loves the game of football. He's also a phenomenal baseball player as well. So I expected to see him do great things carrying forward into his future. He's only a junior. And then the other one is Luke Tompkins. He comes in, it's a science to him, and he is trying to figure out how many steps can I take, how can I beat this guy, where is he lining up. And he really takes the game very seriously. And so I can't wait to see what he can do going forward, especially just being a sophomore. And he's kind of nipping at the heels and, like, trying to get on the field and take over the game. So
there we go. There we go. And this is the last question for you, Coach. Going into the season, for your position, what one goal did you have that you would want to see them reach?
One goal for them this season, I want to see them get better every day. That has come probably one of my big goals. If just seeing where we started to where we are now, that's kind of been our daily goal. Just we got to get a little bit better every day. If I had to pick a statistical goal, I would love to see all my top receivers with at least maybe 500 yards. But
There we go.
We'll see what they can do. I hope we can get some matchups that we like and get them the ball. I know we got Jace Bullock back there, and he needs to increase his all-time leading records. So
there we go. This has been a great podcast, and I appreciate you, Coach, for coming on, man. We're just spotlighting some of these assistant coaches, man, that do just great work, man. I appreciate you, but like I always say, Cleats to Whistle podcast. Everyone has a story, and I'm here for them to tell it. Cleats to Whistle podcast.